Hello and welcome to George Daniel Field. In a few minutes we're going to start commencement exercises for Lorain High. But before we do that, I'd like to introduce Superintendent John W. Pavick. Mr. Pavick, this is going to be a beautiful night.
Boy, this is the best night we've had so far.
We had a little bit of chill yesterday and rain the night before, so this is really going to be nice.
Perfect.
I know that we have talked about this many times, the fact that you really enjoy graduation.
I sure do. This is my 21st one.
It is really?
Yes.
Well, 21 years, you tell me you really enjoy it.
21 graduations.
Just 21 graduations?
3 every year, 7 years.
Okay, that means you haven't been here for eternity after all.
No, 7 years as superintendent.
You have to really enjoy tonight's because it's the end of a kind of a hellacious year in a lot of ways.
Terrific year, but...
kinds of things happened this year?
Well, it was one of those years where so many different things happened. Of course, we had the levy this year. We've had some interaction with the courts over our desegregation activities. We've been pursuing excellence in our school system, and I think those were probably the highlights of the year.
Now, you mentioned the levy. It was on the ballot 3 different times, and it passed this last May. Why do you think it passed the last time?
Well, I think we demonstrated to the public the purpose for the levy and what would happen in the event that it didn't pass. And I think that given those alternatives, that the public felt that they had really very little choice if they wanted the kind of programs that they've been accustomed to here.
Now, I know the levy is also going to help continue some programs, and you mentioned excellence a minute ago. What kinds of programs are in place for excellence?
Well, I think we now have programs in place to address the needs and concerns of almost all of our youngsters and the various kinds of abilities that they have. Our magnet programs, for example, not only provide opportunities for young people, but it provides an opportunity for parents who wish to have choices for their youngsters. And I think the magnet programs provide the kinds of choices they'd like to have.
You mentioned magnets, and it has to do with desegregation. What is happening in desegregation right now?
Well, you know, we mentioned magnets and we mentioned desegregation, and while the magnets are a part of it, certainly they are a separate entity by themselves. And I think we're on the right track as far as desegregation and magnet programs are concerned. You look around us and you look over in Cleveland right now, and there's a big discussion over there about discontinuing buses and going to magnet programs, something that we've already achieved. And I'm very proud of what we have here, because in most school districts going through the program that we have, the enrollment has declined. In Lorain, the enrollment has gone up. And rather than people leaving the city, they're coming back to the city to enjoy the benefits of these fine school system activities we have here.
Now, you have a special meeting coming up next week that has to do with desegregation.
Well, yes, we have some problems with the youngsters that we provide specialized programs for, particularly those youngsters who do not possess the adequate English speaking skills. And we've got some programs out in the South Lorain end of town, particularly Palm and Southview, that we feel should stay there, but by the same token they do impact on the schools to the extent that they're a little out of sync as far as our racial balance is concerned.
Now, obviously tonight is an ending for some of these young people, but it's also beginning. What do you see coming ahead for them and for yourself in the next year or so?
Well, I think our young people, there's a lot of them here that are going to be graduating, of course, and I think we've achieved over $500,000 worth of scholarships for our young people here. But as far as the program is concerned, I think this year will be the capstone coming up of our magnet programs, and at this point we'll now have a program from the early years right up through high school.
You have any final comments before we take the field?
Let's get on with the graduation. They look pretty anxious out there.
I understand that they have their formal colors on tonight for the first time, lavender and purple.
Well, how about that?
Nice and colorful. Thank you, Mr. Pavick.
You're welcome.
Let's go to the field now for commencement exercises.
We know what we're doing. I walked in the store and she goes, "You want to close?" I said, "No." I walked away. I like that color. They got the pin over here. I didn't think it came down. I don't know, I'd like to see some of the big glitter.
Okay, here we go,
I have to go to the bathroom.
So do I.
I just drank a super-sized Coke.
Okay. I'm assuming I can start. I have no idea. Okay, here we go. On the roll. We're out of here. Trumpets. 1, 2, beginning, drum. Now,
evening. Thank you for these fine young graduates of Lorain High School who have exemplified that they are deserving of this final ceremony of their basic education. Help me to point out to them that this is only the beginning of a wealthy, wonderful life, and that this ceremony is not the ending. Please guide them into whatever endeavors and vocation that they decide to choose. Bless the mothers, fathers, grandparents, friends, relatives, teachers, and anyone who has made possible this great experience. Amen.
Class, you may be seated. In front of you sits the grand and glorious class of 1988 of Lorain High School. We know that we're going to have a grand and eloquent commencement ceremony this evening because this group deserves it. So as we begin these commencement proceedings, I would ask each and every one of you in this vast audience to be aware of the importance of this ceremony. Our graduates and their parents have worked long and hard for many years for this graduation. We would ask each of you to treat this ceremony with the dignity and respect it deserves. Please do not come over the fence onto the track for taking pictures at any time during the ceremony this evening. This greatly detracts from the richness of the entire program. Thank you. This, the 109th annual commencement exercise of Lorain High School, is a proud and joyous moment for the members of the class of 1988, all of us here present this evening, and indeed for the entire city of Lorain. For graduation is a momentous occasion. It has been an exciting and memorable year for the members of the class of 1988. Through the course of its history, Lorain High School has developed a proud tradition. As a part of that proud tradition, you will note that this evening we have returned to the use of the traditional purple and lavender as our gown colors. Speaking for myself and for the entire faculty and staff of Lorain High School, I can say that it is a real pleasure to be a part of Lorain High School, to be a part of that proud tradition, to be a part of the greatness that is Lorain High. These young men and young women of the class of 1988 have dedicated themselves and their energies through their years in school to make this event possible. We are living in eventful, challenging times, and I charge each and every graduate to help us make this community, this nation, and our world a better place in which to live. We thank you, the parents, relatives, and friends, for joining us in this evening's activities. My personal thanks to Mrs. Barbara Evans and the teachers and staff of Lorain High School who have so freely and so willingly given of their time to organize this beautiful commencement ceremony for us. My pleasure now to introduce the platform guests behind me. Board members, President of our Board of Education, Mrs. Dorothy Anderson. Our Vice President, Mrs. Beatrice Nemisek. Mr. Ed Siniger. Mr. Ken Kramer. And members of the Superintendent's Cabinet, Dr. Peter Demian, who is our Executive Director of Curriculum and Instruction. Dr. James Buford, Director of Pupil Services. Mrs. Joan Brumbach, our Treasurer. William Kozesko, Director of Vocational and Adult Education. Mr. Douglas Beckler, who is our Business Manager. Dr. Peter Lohr, Director of Personnel. Mr. Fred Churchill, our Athletic Director. Dr. Irma Hansen, our Director of Desegregation Services. And Ms. Wendy Langendorfer, our Public Information Officer. And of course, Mrs. Evans, who substituted so nicely for us in giving the invocation. Thank you. It is my pleasure to announce the Service Plaque Award winners on the occasion of this 109th commencement of Lorain High. These young men and young women represent many of their fellow students who have given countless hours of their time to their school. They have worked diligently and with great dedication in their efforts to make Lorain High School the great school that it is. They have accumulated service credits which place them in the top 3% of their class. I shall read their names in ascending order. They will stand to be recognized. Please hold your applause until all names have been announced. Tricia Sagert. Robin Hellinger. Gordon Scott Wells. Tamara Slonick. Elizabeth Whittington. Jeffrey Carr. Katrina Lewis. Lisa Freda. Lisa Matejcik. And Christine Nagy. Let's have a round of applause for this group. Thank you. Now I am very pleased to announce the top 5% honor graduates of the class of 1988. These young men and women have distinguished themselves and brought honor to their families and their school through their scholastic achievement. They have dedicated themselves to scholarship for 4 high school years. Lest we forget, scholastic achievement is what school is all about. I shall announce their names in ascending order. They will stand to be recognized. Again, please hold your applause until all names have been read. Jeffrey Carr. Tracy Talbot. Sam Ortiz. Marcus Quiro. David Gassaway. Monica Gall. Stephen Barnes. Elizabeth Whittington. Heather Shirkey. Tricia Sagert. Rick Carrick. Christine Nagy. Lisa Matejcik. And number 2 in the class, John Cortez. Number 1 in the class, Franklin Fioriga. So a round of applause for this group. Please be seated. It's now my pleasure to introduce our leader, the Superintendent of Schools of the Lorain City School District, Mr. John W. Pavick. Mr. Pavick.
Thank you, Mr. Balish, and welcome to this ceremony tonight. This is my 21st graduation ceremony, and I've never failed to get excited with such a gala event as this. And certainly, God must be on Lorain High School's side. This is certainly the finest weather that we've had on these 3 nights. I'm particularly proud to be here to share this evening with you, and I'd like to commend all of the parents and the members of our community for the support of our public school system that ensures a quality educational experience for all of the young people. I'm particularly proud to address you tonight and to thank all of you who supported our school issue last month. It be our sincere hope that we can continue to provide the same high-quality programs for years to come. I'd like to extend my congratulations to the students at Lorain High School for the successful completion of 13 years of their education. And this evening is certainly an ending, a conclusion of a process that began some 13 years ago called formal education. Tonight is also a beginning of a new life. Tonight I greet you as a citizen of the world. The very fact that you've completed your studies and are now part of this audience means that those 13 years have prepared you to accept the responsibility of citizenship and to meet the demands that go with it. Now I'm particularly honored to introduce 3 outstanding students from Lorain High School. Each of them will speak on the topic that is printed in your program. I'll depart a little bit from the program. I'm going to introduce Mr. Frank Fioriga first. Now I'm going to introduce Mr. Cortez first. John Cortez is the son of John and Nancy Cortez. John's been listed with who's who among American high school students. He's also been a Buckeye Boys State participant, and he's the president of the National Honor Society. John has been a 4-year varsity manager in basketball. He's played tennis for 1 year. He's a 3-year varsity member of the golf team and been the team captain in his senior year. He's been an office aide, a teacher's aide, a member of the Key Club, senior class representative, chairman of the Students Against Driving Drunk. John expects to attend Purdue University and major in electrical engineering. John was second in his class and been voted the most likely to succeed. John Cortez.
Thank you, Mr. Pavick. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the faculty, members of the Board of Education, and a graduating class of 1988. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. This excerpt from Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken, tells of a difficult decision the author has made. This choice will affect his life as well as the lives of others. The decisions that we, the seniors, will make and have already made determine the future of our lives and the strength of the nation. When we are too young to choose for ourselves, our parents make most of the decisions for us, including safety precautions and picking the right people for friendships. As we get older, our parents make fewer and fewer decisions for us, but they still help us with the tougher kinds of choices. We learn and grow from the decisions our parents make, and as we understand more, we start to make more important decisions ourselves. Our responsibility grows as we make more and more decisions throughout our lives. Things such as what classes to take and what career we wish to pursue, as well as making more friendships and solidifying our old ones, are important. We elect to involve ourselves in extracurricular activities, such as band or sports. Some of us even take on a greater responsibility by getting a part-time job. The ability to make these decisions for the better of our own lives is a sign that we have matured greatly. Decisions are a part of everyday living. Our future depends on the decisions we have made and will make in the coming years. Now, some of us have elected to go to college and further our education, while others will continue working at a job or perhaps join the armed forces. Many of us will get married and have children, and it will be our responsibility to teach them to make wise choices. The last stanza of Robert Frost's poem, Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening, sums up our future. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. We still have miles to go before we sleep, and in that time, many more important decisions to make. Thank you.
Our next speaker, Frank Fioriga. Frank has made the honor roll 23 out of 24 times in his school career. He's been a Elyria Chronicle honoree. He's been elected to Boys Buckeye State. He's received the President's Fitness Award. Frank is #1 in his class. He's a member of the National Honor Society. He's received the Academic Award from Lorain High School. He's received the Presidential Scholarship to attend the University of Akron. He's also received the AAUW Scholarship, the Finley Scholarship. In school activities, Frank has been a member of the Senior Advisory Board. He's been voted Mr. LHS. In sports, he's been in the weightlifting program for 4 years. He's been the varsity football 3 years. He's been a member of he was a first team Erie Shores Conference in his senior year. He's first team All-County in his senior year. He received the Steelman Award. In varsity baseball, he's received 3 letters. He was second team Erie Shore Conference in his junior year, first team Erie Shore Conference in his senior year, and was also captain of the baseball team in his senior year. Frank Fioriga.
The graduating senior class of 1988, members of the Board of Education, members of the LHS faculty, parents, and friends. Not too long ago, about 4 years to be exact, this senior class sitting before me stepped through the doors of Lorain High School for the first time, having no idea what to expect. Even though most of us won't admit it, we were scared. Scared of the mean teachers our big brothers and sisters told us about. Scared of the new subjects like algebra, physics, and trigonometry, but mostly scared of making a change in our lives. But we were not alone. Standing next to us were the friends we had made in past years, helping us through this hard time as we helped them. Silas Weir Mitchell wrote, "Show me his friends, and I, the man, shall know." What he meant is that you can know a person by knowing his friends. Just look back at all the friends you have made in past years and think of why you like them. You liked them because they had similar interests and taste. In grade school, we weren't very selective. The only dividing line was sex. The boys and girls usually stayed away from each other because they thought each other was icky. Little did we know that soon we wouldn't be able to take our eyes off each other. Then we entered junior high, and the number of close friends got larger, and our friendships grew. We also started talking with people of the opposite sex. Then came high school. This is where some of the most cherished friendships were made because of the good times shared. But there are those friendships which have lasted through grade school, junior high, and high school. These are the strongest friendships. These are the friends who shared in your triumphs, that helped you through bad times, who trust you with their feelings, and most importantly, who listened to you when you talked. If this is true about any of the friends you have made, then I can guarantee you that these people will be there in the future, and we will be needing them because we're about to change our lives again. We will probably feel scared, just like the first day of high school, but we know that there are more friends to be made, and old friends will be behind us to carry us through. We realize that we will lose contact with some friends that we've made at LHS. Some are going to college, some are getting jobs, and some are getting married. We might settle down in different cities and even different states, but I hope all of us will attend our class reunions in order to renew our many friendships at Lorain High School. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. I'm sure Vic will be very proud of you tonight. Our third speaker, Christine Julia Nagy. Chris has been elected to Girls Buckeye State in her junior year. She's been an honor roll student for 4 years. She's been on National Honor Society. She is a prosecuting attorney in the Ohio Mock Trial Competition sponsored by the American Trial Lawyers Association, ranked 4th out of 285. She's been on the Senior Advisory Board, served as president of the senior class, member of the Key Club, student council, a cappella choir, operetta cast member. In athletics, she's had 4 years of varsity letter in basketball, 3 years been named most valuable player, team captain in her junior and senior year, first team Erie Shore Conference in her senior year, most valuable player of the Erie Shore Conference, most valuable player in the county, Lorain County, first team district, second team state, Lorain County Miss Basketball. If that's not enough, in volleyball, she's been a 4-year varsity letter person. In the senior year, she's first team Erie Shore Conference, first team Lorain County, second team district, special mention Miss Volleyball, played in Lorain County All-Star team, district All-Star team, and was the team captain. And if that's not all, she's also a member of track and field, received the Coaches Award in her junior year, 2 years as a varsity letters, participated in the Chronicle Telegram Pentathlon, also the team captain of the track and field team. In softball, she received varsity letters in her freshman and sophomore year. Chris has received the NCAA Grant Award and will attend Charleston University, majoring in psychology. Chris Nagy.
Graduating seniors of the class of 1988, members of the Board of Education, members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen. People needing other people. This is a concept we are reminded of every day. Our society depends on all of us looking out for and taking care of the needs of others, whether those needs be physical, emotional, or spiritual. When we were younger, our parents and teachers taught us the meaning of service to others, both at home and at school. At home, we had to wash the dishes, straighten our rooms, or take out the trash before we could go out to play. Since being able to play meant doing them, we completed our chores. We did not do them to be kind. We did not do them to be helpful. We simply did them for the reward of freedom after the chores were completed. The situation in elementary school was similar. The teachers gave us assignments and we did them. If we did not do what they asked, we would do without recess or the gold star stickers that they gave us for good behavior. We wanted recess. We wanted the gold stars. We did what we were told. As we entered high school, we learned that service meant giving to others without thinking of receiving. We began to appreciate the teachers who were so tough. We griped about them when we had them. They were thought of as picky and strict and demanded that we study every night. But the next year's classes seemed so much easier. We knew so much. We picked up a new source of pride. When we worked hard, we expected a good grade, and we usually got the grade that we figured we had earned. High school also offered extracurricular activities which many of us joined to have fun. But the activities also stressed service and commitment. Whether it was student council, band, basketball, or key club, we learned that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. We gave of ourselves so that the team could win, the prom could be breathtaking, or the musical could take place. We did not want to let down those around us. We did not want to miss out on the benefits of our efforts. Now the Lorain High class of 1988 represents approximately 250 free individuals. We enter the adult world free to serve as we choose. There are no more guarantees that the service we give to each other today will pay off to ourselves with an immediate reward. But we must still continue to give of ourselves. We must continue to serve our friends and family and to serve each other. Our reward may not be immediate, it may not be tangible. We may have to settle for the personal satisfaction of knowing that we have given and have made society better for it. As 2 Corinthians says, remember this, the man who plants few seeds will have a small crop. The one who plants many seeds will have a large crop. Each should give not with regret or out of a sense of duty, for God loves one who gives gladly. It is now on graduation day that we reap the benefits of 4 years of bountiful service. And as we prepare for a future of service to others, we realize that only when met with sincerity is service a determinant for success. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly present the Lorain High School class of 1988.
As Superintendent, Mrs. Nemesek, I certify that all of these students have met the requirements that have been established by the state and by the Lorain Board of Education and can now be considered graduates.
Thank you, Mr. Pavick. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to ask you to sit down because I just have a few words to say. I feel that we're kind of poised at a very important moment of recognition, and I know how much it means to you and your families. And besides, we live in a world where you need to sometimes think on your feet, where there's little time for either hesitation and sometimes reflection. So you're standing there with the endless energy of youth, and me, I'm standing here kind of mellowed by middle age. And just for a moment, I'd like to build a bridge between us with an offer that I want to make to you. I'd like to offer you this job that I have. This is a big gift because it's a job I truly love, being a member of the Lorain School Board. They say that you can't love without respect, and I do respect this position on the board. I respect the office, and I treat my one vote with great care because I worked hard to get it. So I hope someday you'll take my job. You'll try to reach out beyond politics to the goal of public office and public service. Give yourselves a chance to matter. Make your life accountable and important. Nothing is as elevated in honor for me as this job that entitles me to speak to you tonight at Lorain High School's graduation. So here's my offer and my challenge. Someday maybe you'll stand here in my place. For your school, for your community, you are the future. Without your recent efforts to pass the levy, we never would have succeeded. So you have already influenced the next generation. I'm proud of you. I thank you. And may the future hold the fulfillment of all your dreams.
As we call the roll of graduates, please afford every graduate all of your courtesies and your kind attention. Thank you. At the end of the ceremony, I would also remind you to remain seated until the class retires in the recessional. And again, please do not come onto the stands, out of the stands, and onto the track or field. Edward Allen Abel. Rhonda Lynn Adams. Susan M. Adkins. Saida Yvette Alvarado. Jared Paul Aquila. Rudy Arce. Kenneth R. Bailey. Terrence J. Ballard. Kathleen Barron. Stephen Barnes. Robert Joseph Barron Jr. Joseph John Basconi. Jeffrey Paul Bass. Erica Lynn Bado. John M. Bauman. Henry Leroy Baxter Jr. Stephanie J. Bigg. Laura Bobrovsky. Julie G. Bogdanoff. Teresa M. Boggs. Johnny L. Bowles. Jennifer A. Bolius. Christine Ann Bosco. Jason Stephen Brenner. Stacy M. Brewer. Carvel Floyd Brisby. Jacqueline Renee Brown. Nicholas James Camarillo. Rick Allen Carrick. Jeffrey Scott Carr. Dominic Carrion. Tracy Louise Cassidy. Robert Siniger. Little grandfather action there. Alejandro Montesinos Calado. Joseph S. Contreras. Velda Cook. Gina Marie Costello. Alan B. Crawford. Priscilla Culpepper. Amy Lynn Dazelle. Scott Davies. Deona Marie Davis. Michelle Marie Delafeld. David C. Dennis. Robert Dodson. Terrence Lynn Donald. Elizabeth Kathleen Downing. Kevin J. Drummond. Joseph Dukovich. Kelly Ann Dukovich. Stephanie Lynn Durnell. Jennifer Dawn Eddy. Donna Diane Enlow. Charles E. Fair Jr. Lisa Marie Farley. Todd S. Farley. Rex Franklin. Lisa Marie Frieda. Luvernia Jean Freeman. William James Frizzell. Richard Joseph Fullerton. Franklin J. Fioriga. Alan F. Gall. Monica Suzette Gall. Anthony G. Garcia. Raquel Marguerite Garza. David C.J. Gassaway. Trina Denise Gaston. Raymond Gilman. Greg Goloszewski. Marco Antonio Gonzalez. Sherry Ann Gautreaux. David A. Greer. Frank Jason Hall. Jason John Hammerlick. Yolanda Hardy. Carrie Ann Heap. Leslie A. Wilson. Robin Lynn Hellinger. Lynn D. Henderson. Brian R. Hensley. Carl H. Horley. Nancy Holliday. Kurt Allen Holzauer. Yusef Latif Howard. Joyce Ann Hurst. Norman Max Hussar. David Allen Jarrett. Jeffrey William Jarvis. Jennifer Ann Jarvis. Lynn Renee Jeffords. Rachel Catherine Jenkins. Rafael Jimenez Jr. Michelle Marie Jones. Patricia Jane Jones. Matthew Richard Kalb. Dina Demetra Kalivas. Denise Marie Kaplan. Anthony J. Karnick. Jason Addison Kaiser. Constance Mary Kelly. John E. Cortez. Sherry Lynn Kesterkey. Leslie Annette Kilgore. Natalie Ann King. Michael D. Kinzer. Joellen R. Klamer. Gilbert James Klingshern. Victor Klingshern. Stephen Michael Knitter. Anthony Joseph Cosen. Daniel G. Capranica. Donald G. Kashko. Brian L. Kovacs. Kimberly Sue Kovacs. Amy Lynn Cool. Amy Ruth Labos. Nicole Marie Lamar. Celeste Monique Lee. Katrina Denise Lewis. Randy Lee Lewis. Ileana Lopez. Virginia V. Lopez. Douglas J. Loshewitz. John C. Lotko. Eddie Dean Love Jr. Christopher S. Loy. Rebecca J. Luman. John Lynch IV. Shelley Diane Majoris. Loretta Michelle Manning. Lana Lee Marrero. Christina Lynn Martinsack. Aisha Marie Martinez. Michael Anthony Massey. Lisa H. Matejczyk. Jessica A. Mathewson. Sherry Ann Matos. Ann M. Maynard. Brian Maynard. Carol Lynn Mazzoni. Colleen McBennett. Vicki McElroy. Larry E. McKern. Melissa Jean McKissick. Deborah Jean Merrick. Diane L. Merrick. Paul Anthony Meyer. J.R. Miller Jr. Robert E. Morton. Christine J. Nagy. Jolynn Neal. Rebecca Ann Nicholas. Kimberly Michelle Nunnally. Donald Thomas O'Doherty. Kimberly Ann Oliver. Samuel Ortiz. Roger Ellsworth Overstreet II. Kimberly Ann Owens. Jennifer Christina Patty. Cassandra Monique Payton. Jennifer A. Peak. Tracy Lynn Peck. Ronald Pecora Jr. Dave Pearson. Janet Lee Pinkerton. Kelly A. Piper. Michael Todd Pitcock. Sean Irwin Piles. Marcus Octavio Kirill. Jeffrey Robert Rakar. Felix Ramos. Aaron Donald Reeser. Keisha L. Register. Lisa Marie Repko. Christopher Lee Risden. Andrew Roberts. Caterino J. Rodriguez. Jose L. Roman. Marlene Renee Rush. Tricia Lynn Segert. Maritza Santiago. Deborah L. Schaefer. Angela Schmidt. Ronald R. Schumacher. Robert R. Scott. Eric E. Seitz. Andrew John Serfozo. Heather M. Shirkey. Yvette R. Short. Matthew J. Schulich. Sue-Ann Skidmore. Paul F. Skodny. Tamara Faye Slonick. Jennifer Lynn Smetana. Michael Gordon Smosny. Bertha Jean Snipes. Jamie Ann Songer. Mike Eric Stamiti. Eric S. Stamper. Robert Stephen Starcher. Mark Steinbrunner. Russell L. Stevens. Tracy M. Stitak. Tim Stratton. Brian James Strosak. Matthew E. Selesky. Michael Supran. Kenneth A. Zarek. Tracy Lynn Talbot. Bridget Renee Taylor. Stephen J. Thomas. Valerie Diane Thomas. Eric Paul Tillman. April Marie Temeko. Tracy Lynn Tomsko. Patricia Ann Toothman. Wendy Joe Trifoletti. Tanya Rachel Trimble. Victoria Susan Van Antwerp. Maria Velasquez. David Virant. Scott A. Warner. Dennis Brian Washington. Gina Antoinette Waters. Randy William Webb. Stephanie Weisenberger. Gordon Scott Wells. Jennifer Ann Whitehead. David Lloyd Whittington. Elizabeth Ann Whittington. Kelly Ann Wilson. Jennifer Marie Woodward. Carrie Lynn Wykrent. Angela Marie Young. Queen E. Young. Daniel J. Zadarozny. Linda Christine Zadarozny. Christopher John Zaratka. Jennifer Zaratka. David J. Zantarski. And last but certainly not the least, Chris Michael Zilko. Let's have a big round of applause for this class of 1988.
Let us pray. Graduates, let us pray. Stand. Stand. Again, thank you, dear God, for this excellent occasion and for this rewarding experience. be with us, and especially with the graduates in all our endeavors. We thank you. Amen.
That concludes commencement ceremonies from George Daniel Field for Lorain High School. We'll be airing these next week at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. every night. So please join us, and good night.
Forward to your left. Straight up. Close man, close man, close man.